Hello there.
Hello, Ware. Here we are for our second installment of Ware Wednesdays. This is the March edition, and hopefully this one will improve upon the last one. At least
start off a little bit better.
At least our
we're facing
framing.
the right direction.
Yes. So again, we're here for our Buy Ware Now Wednesdays here on Facebook Live. And as I said last time, we always invite participation. So I can see that Danielle has checked in. Hi, Danielle.
Hello.
And we hope to see a number of you online. And again, if you have any questions about our topics that we're talking about today, please chime in, ask questions, or contribute. Again, Buy Ware Now is a organization, a nonprofit organization to help promote all things Ware, primarily, at least for both myself and for Rhiannon here. We're both involved in the real estate industry. I'm a loan officer for Westfield Bank, and of course we have a branch here in the Walmart Plaza in Ware. And Rhiannon is part of the Team Gresty, I guess.
Team Gresty, yeah, with Exit Real Estate Executives, and we have our office on 1 Main Street in Belchertown. So, yeah, we're excited to bring to you some great information on pre-qualification versus pre-approval and getting the process started with purchasing a home.
Yes. So, yes, the topic for today, pre-quals, pre-qualification, pre-approval. What is it? Why is it important? Again, we'll talk a little bit about it from both the realtor side and from the loan officer side, and how that having a pre-qual will benefit you as a potential home buyer or borrower in terms of navigating the process of buying a home. So let's just jump right in.
Hi, Ron.
So I see Ron is there. So
thanks for joining.
Welcome aboard. But before we talk about the differences, why would a person who's looking for a house want a pre-qual?
Well, it's one of the biggest things you want to do because you want to, first of all, know if you're in a position to buy a property, to buy a home. You want to know how much you can afford to purchase, what you're pre-approved for before you start going out there and looking at houses. So you just want to make sure you have that in place. You want to know that you're in the position to do that all the numbers work when you fill out the application for the loan, and you're able to get pre-qualified, and for how much and for what terms, what kind of loan program that you qualify for, all makes a difference on what kind of house you're looking at. So that's one of the most important things that we strongly advise when you first start the process, is to go for that pre-approval.
Yeah. So, and again, if I was a home buyer and you start driving around, you start seeing a lot of signs, you reach out to a real estate professional. There are lots of options out there, although not as much inventory as we probably like at this point.
It's coming though.
It is coming. That's a good thing. And it is the spring buying season. We're getting weather-wise, I think we're getting an early jump on that. But
pretty nice next week. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you're out looking at all these properties, and if you're going to be working with a real estate professional like Rhiannon, we want to make sure that that she is going to be able to find the properties for you that, as you mentioned, best fit from what your needs are, number one, in terms of what you're looking for, but also from the affordability standpoint. So
absolutely.
If you are a person that has the money in the bank and are not looking to finance any of your home purchase, then it's really a moot
that's
point.
Pretty easy.
But there aren't a lot of us out there.
Right.
So that's where I think your mortgage, your lender comes in. You might go to the realtor first. But
yes, in most cases that does happen. People always inquire about properties in the market, and then the first thing I ask them is, have you been pre-approved? And most say that they haven't, and most don't even know where to start. So we generally lead them in that direction and point out the reasons why it's so important for them to get pre-approved, so that, again, as I explained before.
Yep, and I see Missy has
Hi,
joined us.
Missy.
Hi, Missy.
Thanks for joining us.
So at that point, your realtor might talk about some options in terms of there are many different forms of lenders out there. But again, all of us, whether it be Westfield Bank or whether it be another mortgage company or another a brick and mortar lender, we all provide that service, what we call the pre-qualification or pre-approval process. And simply, to put it simply, is the best way I've heard it described is when we want to get a sense of what you would qualify for in terms of your borrowing power. So that if you're looking for a home that's in the 350 range and you want to make sure that if you were to find a property or make an offer on that you could secure a loan for anywhere from 20% or 80% of that total price. So that's what we're trying to do. And the best way I've heard it described is really, as a lender, we need to know 3 pieces of information from a potential borrower. What do you make? What do you have? And what do you owe? Because that all goes into the equation.
The debt to income ratio.
Yes, the infamous DTI. And again, we all, when we talk in terms of these acronyms, it really does come down to that those 3 pieces of information give us an idea of how, when you get to the actual loan process, the likelihood of you being approved by our underwriters, for example, that you would qualify for the loan. So what do you make? Obviously is your income, and that can come from a lot of different sources. You might be a salaried employee somewhere. You might own your own business. You might be receiving assistance that also counts towards income. So all those things. A lot of
variables.
Exactly, and that's where a loan officer, sitting down with a loan officer, or talking with a loan officer, or even applying online, we're going to ask those kind of questions, and we can help you put a full picture of your income generating power. Right. Second thing is, what do you make? What do you have? What do you have is in terms of your current liquid assets that can be used for a down payment or closing costs. Mm-hmm. So again, that can be a question that's gathering information regarding, what you currently have that maybe be in bank account, maybe be investments, etc. We also look at the fact that you can have money gifted to you from relatives. So that's
on our end, we can sometimes roll in those closing costs into the offer, which we call seller's concessions. Seller will agree to pay a portion of your closing costs, which can offset some of the money you have to come to the table with. So that's another option too.
Yep. And then the last piece of the puzzle is, what do you owe? And that, again, when we talk about debt to income ratios, we need to know what your other debt obligations are that can be made up for example, car payments, student loans. Maybe you're buying a second home and what your current mortgage obligations are, your credit cards, what your balances are. That helps us because we need to factor that in or add that to what your proposed mortgage payment would be. So again, all this information.
As you can see, there's a lot that goes into getting a pre-approval, as opposed to a pre-qual, which, if you want to explain maybe the difference between getting a pre-qual or getting a pre-approval.
Yeah, it's the definition, I guess, would be more of the information required by degrees. Mm-hmm. In other words, all this information, when you actually do apply for a mortgage, we're going to go into very great detail to gather that, to provide our loan underwriters the opportunity to make an informed loan decision, both to benefit the borrower and the lending institution. But up front, we need to just get a snapshot.
Right.
So if I was to rank the two, I would say pre-qual is probably the least intrusive, in the sense that what we're doing is we're asking, as a loan officer or a lender, we're asking for you to tell us.
We have some pretty basic questions, pretty basic things that they have to offer in order to give them a simple estimate on what they'd be pre-approved at.
In fact, here at Westfield Bank, we actually have what we refer to as our pre-qualification kit, which essentially, the amount of information that, again, what do you make, what do you have, what do you owe, can fit on one piece of paper. Okay, that gives us enough based on your what you're telling us to be able to start to put together those ratios and then back into how much your borrowing power would be, and also to have a discussion about what type of products, whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether you're looking for an adjustable rate mortgage, or whether you're looking for a longer 30-year fix, all that kind of discussion.
Right. There's different loan programs, and there's even ones with, no money down, like the USDA loan program. And
yep.
So it just depends on what you would qualify for.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there, but whether it's a Westfield Bank or Mass Housing or anything, these pieces of information they're going to need to get from you. Also, that's a good thing to be able to start gathering this to come in.
Wait, start getting all your stuff together, and be prepared to submit that application.
So again, pre-qual generally means that we're not going to ask for supporting documentation. We're not going to, at this stage, we would not be looking for bank statements or looking for pay stubs, although if you have them, that certainly will help. One of the things that, again, when you talk about the definitions between the two, some say if it's a pre-qual, just give me if you can tell me the first two pieces of information, what do you make, what do you have, and also give me your best guess in terms of what your liabilities are, that would be a pre-qualification. And the letter that we issue, essentially a pre-qualification letter, is a summary of what your buying power would be, what type of loan program, at least for here at Westfield Bank, and then what your mortgage amount, the amount that you can borrow, with conditions that say this is all based on the information that you've shared with us, and it's usually good for anywhere from 60 to 90 days. And at that point, it can always be renewed.
Right.
The pre-approval process, again, crossing over, I would say that generally from what I've seen is it's basically getting more detail. Certainly the approval to do a credit or background or credit check so that we can actually get a sense from the credit bureaus of what your actual current debt obligations are. That helps firm that up. And also looking for documentation of your earnings and what you have. Then the pre-approval is basically saying, based on this information, this hard evidence that we have, we can approve you when you apply for this amount.
So it's a more solid.
Yep.
Solid. And that's good too when you're making an offer, because sellers are looking for that pre-approval. They'd rather see a pre-approval over a pre-qualification letter.
Yep.
It just shows that you're more committed and that you're pretty much qualified to get this loan to purchase that property. So
and again, I think in terms of with the seller likes to see that you're standing with that seller, especially in an environment that we're in right now, where you might have multiple offers on one property.
Right.
Anything that you can do
they're going to look at that
to put yourself in a better position than somebody, for example, that hasn't already shown that they could secure financing, is going to put them at a disadvantage and put you at an advantage.
100%. Yeah.
So.
For sure. So I guess that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yep. In terms of how do I get a pre-qualification, and I can say, again, speaking for Westfield Bank, but most borrowers or most borrowers that are looking, they might have that conversation with Rhiannon, and they might be going out that weekend to go look at properties. So usually these are time-sensitive requests. Most lenders are in a position to turn those around pretty quickly. Again, whether it's a phone call, whether it's completing a questionnaire, or whether it's even going online, if the lender has the ability to either apply or for pre-quals online, you can get that information in that letter in your hand to provide
highly recommend that.
Yes, to the realtor, so that they can then
especially coming into the spring market.
Yes, and then again, put you in front of sellers or houses that fit that what your earning.
You want to be ready to pursue that. If you really want to pursue that property, you want to be ready to go.
Yes.
So that's a big deal.
Yep. So again, we covered a lot of ground here. If anybody has any questions that they'd like to,
don't chime on in.
Yep.
Ask some questions. We love to hear from you.
Yep. Or if you have anything to contribute, I'm speaking to you, Danielle.
Danielle,
so
if you have anything you'd like to say,
let us know. In the meantime, again, some of the things that are coming up for Ware Now in the near future, and some things that if you want to find out more about Ware Now,
Yes, check out our website, Ware Now. Go on there. You get a lot of information there, a lot of resources there too as well.
Yep.
We do have our race coming up June
Yes.
27th. It's a 5K run walk. And we also have a pancake breakfast as well too. It's a really awesome event for the 4th of July, and we're starting to promote that now. So we're hoping that we get a lot of people to come out and join us for that. We raise money for nonprofits in Ware, so
all benefits Ware and the community.
Mhm.
We're looking for a good turnout this year.
Absolutely.
I know that we have a quilt fundraiser that's coming up, that you'll be seeing this lovely quilt that was done to raffle. We're doing a raffle to give it to some lucky winner,
Yeah.
and all the proceeds will go to the cost of the fun run, and then to the nonprofits, obviously, that we're supporting. So that's something that we all look forward to. It's a big event for Ware. Also, again, as Brianna mentioned, you can find out all this information on Ware Now, our website. Also, we'll here on our Facebook.
Our Facebook page, yes.
Yep.
Just keep an eye out, because we're going to be putting more information out about that as we're getting closer to the race. So
Absolutely. The other thing is that we mentioned last month is the first-time homebuyers grant. They're still available.
Yes.
So if you have any interest in up to $2,500 in funds to help assist with down payment for first-time homebuyers here in Ware, if you're interested, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. You can always find out the information on our website.
Yep. And all the requirements and stuff like that to apply for it as well too. But
Yep.
it's a really great grant program. So if you're a first-time homebuyer looking to purchase in Ware, I would definitely check that out.
Yep.
For sure.
And again, the amount that we've allocated is limited, so it's basically on a first come, first serve. So like I said, if you have any interest, now is the time to investigate that.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Well, again,
Awesome.
I think I'm going to say that I think this one, at least we kept the framing correct. We didn't kind of jump around this. Obviously, we'll put this up on our Facebook page, so if you weren't able to catch it, you can
tune in later.
Yep. And again, we'll do Ware Wednesdays next month.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have another topic. We'll have another mix of Ware Now professionals, and we thank you for your time, and we look forward to a very active and weather-friendly buying season.
Absolutely, for sure. And if you have any questions even after we're done, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer them for you.
Great.
And thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.